Hello gainers, Ralphie here with some Fit of Philosophy, sharing the journey, my journey with you to help you with your journey. And that is exactly the topic of the conversation, or the monologue, that I'm going to provide for you today. A lovely sunny day, slightly breezy, but what do you expect when you're standing at the top of a cliff? Fortunately, this fine dilapidated rusty railing is here to prevent me from getting blown over the edge in the wind. Thank goodness. In previous recent monologues at Fit of Philosophy, I've been discussing the problems we encounter with life, white noise, distraction, other people's expectations and demands for us, and in itself, as single items, they don't really impact too heavily in our lives, but collectively, over time, they can actually compromise our quality of life and our connectivity with ourselves. And we have to redress this, not overnight, not suddenly, it doesn't work that way, but slowly, surely, with little techniques of stepping aside, of some meditation, of being careful with the quality of our friendships, being careful with the careers we choose, and deciding objectively just how obsessed we're going to be with money, which is a big deal. Too many people discover the poverty of chasing superficial wealth rather than investing in their wealth of their own development. And this is what I'm going to talk about. First of all, an explanation of life. The purpose of life, as I've said in the past, is to experience it. But that's just the beginning. The experience has a reason and a purpose, and that is because life is a journey. It's a journey through time and space. It's a journey on our own, because we are all on our own on this journey. But whilst we make this journey, we're with the company of others. First of all, our families, then latterly those that we choose to have as friends as we're growing up, then ultimately, if we choose to do so, with a partner, with whom to produce children, which is the traditional thing to do. But there's more to the journey than that. You will notice when you observe the world around you that there's some people, particularly when you're people watching, always a very interesting thing to do. But when you're people watching, you'll notice that some people have quite a big journey in their lives, whilst others, we're going through a little corridor here, which is quite breezy, because the wind gets funneled, you see. It comes along the road here, right, and it gets funneled through this ornamental tower, which was built for the tourist trade back in the Victorian times, when the Isle of Man, which is the island that I'm recording this on, was in fact a legitimate tourist destination. How times have changed. We're on a journey, and it's understanding the purpose of that journey. The journey is to grow and develop ourselves through experiencing our own emotions, developing our own intellect, establishing our own values, and connecting with the world around us, not just with the people, not just with our own society, but with the world. And that world is not just the planet Earth. It's understanding the cosmos, understanding the universe, because so much information is now being provided to us to help us with our journey through life by science, astronomers, biologists, geologists. We are in fact in a knowledge renaissance, global, and it really is global. And you wouldn't think so by all the negativity and distraction and white noise produced by traditional media. But it's not so much, to understand this, it's not so much the media itself. It's neutral, it's inert. It's those who control it. And we have to examine what is their motivation, what is their true purpose, And I can see the logic of it, but that is part of the journey of our lives, the personal journeys that we make. And I'm going to conclude this video by just really defining accurately for you what is the journey of life. The journey of life is to use all our senses as best we can within the evolving limits of our intelligence and emotions and reason. So we're talking full intelligence spectrum here, to gain knowledge from life that as spiritual beings we will grow, be stronger, be wiser, be bigger than we were when we first arrived on this planet. The definition of life is so restricted, and this is important to understand in the context of the journey. The way we're indoctrinated is that, you know, you breathe, therefore you're alive, you live, and then you die, and then you're no longer alive. Now, science is debunking this. Religion still persists in providing a certain perspective which many people are comfortable to accept. But you can see that there is so much more. And it doesn't matter which religion it is in the world, you will always spot the wise people, the genuinely wise and the good, from the bad, the corrupted, the deceitful. And this is one of the other purposes of life, is to really understand this much, much more than we used to. It doesn't happen overnight, it doesn't happen suddenly. Sure, some folk can suddenly achieve an enlightenment moment, but that's few and far between, very few and far between. In fact, it's one reason why there's such a strong drug culture, is that people are trying to take shortcuts to euphoria, to ecstasy, to bliss, to enlightenment. And it's a dead end. It's a false light, and we've got to be aware of these false lights. I'm Ralphie. I'll leave it at that. And if you pop back again, I shall be, excuse me, I'm going to get my list out now. I've written this down, you know, in a sequence. I'll be talking about the pursuit of the higher self. There we go. But before that, I'm going to leave you with a beautiful sea view. It's the Irish Sea, by the way. Northern Hemisphere, quite turbulent, always restless, but often very, very beautiful.